Thank you, guys, and here we go on a Monday morning. This is a critical moment in the search for Nancy Guthrie, missing for more than a week. The message the family is now sending to their mother's captor with a purported second ransom deadline said to be only hours away. So here we go. Good morning, everybody, wherever you are. Hope you're waking up with us today. I'm Bill Hemmer, waking up today in Northern California, the morning after Super Bowl 60. We'll get to all that stuff and take you behind the scenes throughout the next 2 hours. But good morning from California, Dana. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm Dana Perino, and this is America's Newsroom.
Yes.
Did you even go to sleep last night?
Maybe 2.5 hours.
Okay.
But listen, it's worth it. Dana, I tell you every time, it is the place in America once a year where everyone is happy with a smile on their face as they go into the venue. Depending on the outcome, a lot of those moods change, but it's just a great American moment. We're going to show you that coming up momentarily.
It absolutely is. Okay, well, we look forward to all of that. More to come on that, but let's get to the news. Here's what we know on day 9. Police have not identified a suspect in the Nancy Guthrie disappearance. Yesterday, investigators returned to her home where they were seen searching a septic tank and a manhole cover.
Yeah. You wonder what those clues might be. We'll check that out momentarily with our expert. The FBI is saying the second deadline laid out in a purported ransom note is said to be later today, 5 o'clock local time in Arizona. That is 7 o'clock in New York. Now, the Guthries pledged to pay that ransom in a video message to whomever may be holding their mother, Dana.
And Nancy Guthrie and her, Savannah Guthrie and her siblings released that video on Saturday. They addressed their mother's captor directly and pled with them to bring her home.
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us and we will pay.
Alicia Cunha outside Nancy Guthrie's home in Tucson, Arizona. Where do things stand on this Monday morning?
Good morning, Dana. This was a very busy weekend for investigators in the search for Nancy Guthrie. Let's begin with that septic tank that you mentioned. Sunday, late in the afternoon, a sheriff's deputy and another member of law enforcement went to the back of Nancy's property and they removed what looked like a man cover, and they were focused on that and on this septic tank using a pole to probe this area. They were there for about an hour and then left. On Saturday night, our Fox flight team captured images of investigators searching in the terrain once again in the dark with flashlights. Hours later, investigators show up at Savannah's sister and brother-in-law's house. They spent about 2.5 hours on site. We understand the family was not there, but our Fox Digital team saw agents in there and a lot of what looked like camera flashes going off in the garage and another room. The FBI is also digging into mountains of data from not only Nancy Guthrie's home, but her neighbors. And as it was explained to us, even if a door cam didn't capture an image, the FBI can grab what's known as unseen data. And Dana, what that is that's when you have like door cam apps and they're smart enough to know if a person is there, but it has to constantly be checking to see if that's something what the user wants. So it still captures that data, and the FBI has that, and there is a lot of it, and they're going to be working on that. No news conferences so far scheduled. The Sheriff's Department says that they will have one if there is a major update. Back to you.
Okay, Alicia, thank you so much. Over to you, Bill.
Dana, I'm going to bring in James Gagliano, former FBI supervisory agent. James, good to have you back on today. Let me read you what was sent out from the Sheriff's Department on Super Bowl Sunday. They said the following. They say Nancy Guthrie's investigation is ongoing. Said follow-up continues at multiple locations. No suspects, persons of interest, or vehicles have been identified. No scheduled press conferences. If any significant developments occur in the case, a press conference will be called, as Alicia just said there. What do you make of the septic tank, the visit to the Circle K Convenient Mart? What is important for you right now, James, as you go back over the 48 hours this weekend?
Yeah, Bill, I think it's all part and parcel of the conduct of an investigation that has defied gravity for so long. It just doesn't make sense from so many parts of what traditional kidnappings typically entail. Again, going back to the Lindbergh baby kidnapping or Frank Sinatra Jr. or even Patty Hearst. Is this for profit? Is it for revenge? Is there an ideological bent to this? And that has not been stated or released yet. Bill, I think this is just a law enforcement team, the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Office, that is turning over every stone, following exhaustively every lead, literally going down rabbit holes, and sometimes that's what you have to do. I won't criticize them for going back to the house. I criticized them last week for releasing the crime scene so early, but as was pointed out at the top of this hit, you know, there's a lot of work ongoing behind the scenes on digital imagery. That stuff takes time. Was it a proxy server? Was it an IP address that was masked by VPN? Things like that take time to kind of grind through, and Bill, I think that's what they're focused on right now.
Okay, all right, James, we can take that deeper a bit later in our program, but I can tell you what we were all talking about on Saturday out here in California. It was the language of the video message late on Friday night. We will pay, and we want to celebrate her. Can you give us an understanding or an interpretation as to what goes into that?
Sure, if you listen to the 3 messages that have been released by the family, Bill, and they're heart-wrenching. You see a family, you know, at the end of their rope, literally beseeching the captors or the abductors to please release them. Bill, I'm still not certain that these notes, this messaging and communications from these so-called abductors can be authenticated yet. And there's a lot to this that the FBI, the Behavioral Analysis Unit, as well as the Crisis Negotiation Unit, are trying to assist the family with. Remember, we in law enforcement cannot compel a family to act in a certain way or tell them that they have to do this. It's all up to them. And Bill, here's the chilling piece of this. We're hurtling towards a deadline right now, 5 o'clock, right? Which is the second deadline that's been laid out by the supposed kidnappers. I don't even think paying the ransom money would be dispositive in this case. Could these be fraudsters? Could they be opportunists? And I think that's what the family and law enforcement is having to be forced to deal with right now.
All right, 2 quick last questions here. What's more significant, the first deadline or the second? Or do we get a third possibly?
They make no sense, and here's why, Bill. Typically in a kidnapping, if it follows typical protocols, there are multiple deadlines set when the kidnapper wants to show how serious they are. If you do not comply with the first deadline, you will receive negative consequences. And those, you can think about all the awful things that could happen. In this instance, where there doesn't appear to be any negative consequences, we're still not 100% certain that Miss Guthrie is alive because there's been no proof of life. And yeah, Bill, I wouldn't be surprised if there was an additional deadline. Somebody's either playing this out because A, they're trying to mask the fact that they do not have her, or they're just trying to lead the family on and try to get any money out of them that they can.
Wow, so cruel. The other point that was brought up is that the first message apparently had a request for Bitcoin, and the second message said a US dollar amount, which has led a lot of people like yourself to think about maybe this coming from outside the country. Right now, we at least do not know that. James, thank you for coming back.